two.
Welcome back to Tell My 2013 Story, segments of positive and good things that are happening in our community in the metropolitan Detroit area. Today I'm very excited to have our special guest with us, a young lady that has been very active in our community and have done a lot of great things with our young people here in the city of Detroit. I remember our guest today, Ms. Sylvia Hubbard, when she first returned from college. She was a volunteer here at our center. She did a very good job in interacting with our youth here at Detroit Impact. But she didn't stop there. She went on to make a great contribution throughout our city of Detroit in the area of literary arts. And today, again, I'm excited and I want to welcome Sylvia Hubbard to Tell My 2013 Story.
Thank you very much.
And you do have a story to tell.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Sylvia, you did, when you returned from college, you came and you volunteered at Detroit Impact.
Right.
We had some great times here as well as our young people. I remember you developed one of our activities that went on for several years,
Right.
the Summer Olympics,
Right.
which gave all of the young people an opportunity to get involved in some sport activity. But then you went on to do some literary things in our community, and you're also founder of the Motown Writers Network.
Yes.
So I guess let's start there. How did all that begin?
Well, I'd always wanted to be a writer since I was young, and back in, as I had children, I wanted to continue to pursue my writing dreams, and that was to be published. So in 2000, I finally published my first book, and at the same time, I realized there was a problem in not only Metro Detroit, but in Michigan as a whole, where readers and writers were not connecting. There was not enough networking going on and not enough education within the literary community. So I created Motown Writers Network in sync to my publishing career as I independently published my books. And as I grew in writing my books, the network has kind of grown, where we educate writers to get to their literary goals, and then we also connect readers to Michigan authors and keep them up to date on what's going on in the literary community. So we've grown with conferences, workshops, just educational series, book swaps, book signings, just everything that has to do with books. We try to focus on that and bring out the, the literary entertainment in Michigan.
Now, in the city like Detroit, where we know that our literary rate in Detroit.
The literacy rate is really low,
right.
Really affecting.
So is this something that you really feel personal or is part of your mission to increase the skill level of both writing and availability of reading material?
Definitely, not just as, it affects me, not just as a mother, not just as a citizen of Detroit, but as just an author. I need people who can read. I mean, that's my business, is to find readers. And as I focused on, how to find more readers, the literacy rate just kept coming back to me, and letting me know that Metro Detroit had a low literacy rate. So I knew I needed to turn my attentions on being the change that I needed to see in Detroit, and starting writing projects with youth and adults who had low literacy rate, book drives to give them the books and the necessary books that they wanted to read, and just doing things that would help create a better literate society, which is one of the main goals of our founding fathers in America wanted to create, and that's what I knew we needed in Detroit. And like I said, I wanted to be the change, and just doing that little thing, giving books away, teaching more literacy courses, and creating a more writing and reading community in Metro Detroit and Michigan. I knew that I was making a change and helping a problem.
Well, as I can see it, and as I know you myself, those are some of the dynamic things about you that not only did you see developing your own skills, but how you can empower others as well.
Right.
And that the benefit would be, we would be increasing the skill level of our community. And when I think about some of the things that you've done, and of course we keep saying that they're multi, what about the Motown Writers Network? Now, you're an author, you're writing your books, you're having challenges getting your books done. So you become a self-publisher, is that right?
Right, I started independently publishing my books, like I said, back in 2000, and right now I'm going on 32 books in all that I've published as paperback or ebook or both. And I turn around and that's what I teach other authors how to do, and especially with people losing their jobs, people needing, secondary income. Having a book published and having that disposable royalty income coming in, it's awesome for writers right now. It's a great time in the 21st century to be an author now.
Now, also, you have done a series of workshops.
Right.
And tell us some about the workshops that you do.
Well, the workshops, we focus on writing, publishing, marketing, and promoting your book. We teach skills that you would need whether you became traditionally published by a big-time publisher or whether you decided to do it yourself. We teach those skills that you're going to need in order to be a success as an author. We've had, I've been a bestseller. I've been an award-winning author. I've received awards, and we show other authors how to do it. And we've had great success with other authors, and it's been fun watching people birth their books and lead them to success. So that's where my love of all of this comes in. It's my passion for the books and for reading, for everything that has to do with words.
Right. Now, being one who's really invested into our community, how do you find the literary community here in Detroit? Is it enriched? Do we have a large body of talented writers and creativity in our city?
I think our authors embody that essence of Motown where you can't get it anywhere else. The Motown, whenever you hear the word Motown, you think of it as something unique, something different, something you cannot get it anywhere else in the world except in Detroit. And that's why we did call ourselves the Motown Writers, is because writers here have something different. They bring something different to the table, and that's how I feel like all our spirit in the Metro Detroit area is and just in all of Michigan, where we are bringing something new to the table that the world could not even conceive.
And as we see things in our city of Detroit in the midst of changing, and everybody's talking about this great movement toward change, how do you see the opportunities for this literary community to grow and be more exposed to the world? And specifically, what stories now do you feel need to be told from Detroit, about Detroit, by Detroit?
I think more people need to tell their experiences of being a Detroiter, because the world they see a different side of Detroit, but they don't see what Detroit really is. When people say, well, why do you stay here in Detroit? They always ask me that. And it's like, it's the people. And I think more people here should tell their stories, because once people see why we love this city, why we live here, why we tend to work here, play here, just want to be here, then the world can kind of understand why Detroit has an impact on the entire world when we do anything.
I think that's great. And that's exactly why we do Tell My 2013 Story, coming right at you from the city of Detroit, that is enriched with individuals like Ms. Hubbard here, who is making great contributions in our city and to our youth. So we are glad that you are able to watch this segment, and we encourage you to stay tuned as we will continue the segment of Tell My 2013 Story. Stories about the positive and good things that are happening in our metropolitan Detroit community. Sylvia, I want to thank you for being with us. And we're going to do some more, because I know you're going to do some more in your area of literacy.
Thank you.